from KAMPFAR, and you are watching United Rock Nations.
Hello guys of United Rock Nations, thank you DOLK for this interview, because I know just a few minutes before you were on stage at the HellFest.
Yep.
So my first question is for that. What was your impression to be on the stage with a lot of people and a very exceptional show, I think?
Oh, thank you. But I mean, all my respect to these people here today. It's like 40 degrees and they are still here rocking out and waiting. I could never have done that, to be honest. So to be an artist here, we should never complain, because the people out there is like, wow. Just all my respect to them, and just watching them make it easy actually to do the show. It makes all the energy for me. And this is, I don't know, I think this is the 4th time for KAMPFAR in HellFest, so I always love to be here. Always.
There is something different to play here than another festival, maybe?
Yeah, it's so well organized, I think, this festival. It's so well organized, and we have been booked to HellFest with Carbonita, with Fred all the time, and just dealing with them and dealing with Fred is so easy. So I mean, we have known each other for 15 years, and it makes everything so easy now, because we know what to expect and we know what to get, and same with them. So it works very, very fine, to be honest, to go to HellFest.
Okay. Yeah. I want to ask you a question more personal, because I want to know when you decided to form KAMPFAR, which artist or maybe which band wanted you to become an artist and to form KAMPFAR?
Oh, that's a very hard question, because ever since I was a kid, I mean 6 years old, I have an older sister, almost 5 years older than me. She was listening to Kiss, in the 70s, because I'm born in the 70s, and I started to steal my sister's records, with Kiss. But the thing with me is like, this was the start for me, and ever since I was looking for something more. I was never satisfied, I was just looking for more and more extreme stuff, I guess. So when I started KAMPFAR, I already had KAMPFAR in my mind for many, many years in front of that, but I played in an old band called DOLK, and because of that I never realized or released the beast KAMPFAR, sort of, until the band split up. Because what's really funny about KAMPFAR is back in '94 when we split it up, my old band DOLK. The week after I had a dent on KAMPFAR, because I had it all in my mind. I should have done it earlier. Okay. Yeah, but the thing that I was so busy with all the other stuff, so KAMPFAR just finally I got the opportunity to do it. So to be honest, it's more about my roots, with battery and stuff. But to be honest, I wanted to do something else. I wanted to create something that was personal, and for me very personal. I mean, not many people think of that now, but I mean, back in the 90s, doing black metal with some folk stuff, of course, but still it was black metal roots, and doing black metal without corpse paint in Norway back in 92, 93, 94, that was not an easy task to do, because like you should, people don't think about it now, but I mean, back then I got death threats for that. Okay. I mean, so it was really, it was really personal to me. That's why I did it, because nothing could stop the way I was thinking with KAMPFAR. So I think more or less it's just the roots that drew me into this, but in the end it was more or less maybe what I wanted to do.
Okay. And it was difficult for you in the 90s to impose or to play this kind of black metal, because your black metal is different because of the rules, folk metal, because it's not very in this year. It was difficult to for you to play the KAMPFAR against bands like Maison, like Emperor, like Mayhem?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, everyone, it was a small circle, for sure, in Norway. But I think that what people don't realize, it was like, because when you're talking about Norwegian black metal, you talk about like it was a pack, you know, with people. But to be honest, it was like several packs. It was like one in the east, one in the south, one in the west, one in Oslo with Mayhem, you know, and Euronymous and all this stuff. And then in the north also. It's like, and you have all these packs. And that was before we had something like this, because we didn't have phones, or I mean, I didn't even have internet back then, you know. So the funny thing is like, it was a lot of fighting with these packs, you know, like this pack from the east didn't like what the pack from the south said about someone, and then you almost had like motorcycle clubs, you know. Okay. We were working against each other. So that's the most funny part, because when you're thinking about black metal, and especially when all this church burning started in the early 90s in Norway, all of a sudden that sort of brought everything back again to one whole pack, I think. But before that, I mean, my worst enemies was not the people outside or the church or anything. My worst enemies was inside of the black metal community. Yeah. So always had to watch your back, you know. And that was serious. But now I can talk about it. It's not an issue anymore, because it's not like that now. But I mean, I had to watch my back all the time, to be honest. With this, it was a harder, you know, it was a harder environment than it is now.
So it was maybe dangerous for you to play your kind of black metal?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing with it is like, everyone was so stubborn and everyone was so committed to do this stuff, you know, so nothing could stop me back then, and nothing could stop them either. And I mean, that made it maybe dangerous, you know, because it was like my whole life depended on it. I didn't care. I didn't care about anything, as long as this is what I'm doing.
And KAMPFAR was inside you, so it was necessary to create. Now, 8 album now, and LP was released 2 months ago. What is your feeling to have do this way with this own projects? And could you explain to us the evolution of KAMPFAR and your music in this different album?
Yeah, I can, for sure. I mean, in the very beginning, like I said, I had this thing that I wanted to create something personal, and for me, personal go way back, even back to my grandmother, because I have a grandmother that was really superstitious woman, and she told me all these stories about, you know, all these people, what people believed in before, all these creatures in nature, because it's really connected to that in Norway, you know. Like the history in Norway is insane, because people used to believe that there were people living under the ground, you know. People like all this funny stuff that you see now in fairy tales, trolls and stuff. That was real, you know, back in the days. So that's my roots, you know, and that's where I started with KAMPFAR, and you can hear it from the very beginning. There was a lot of folk stuff going on, you know. But then all of a sudden, it became for me kind of ruined, because all this, I don't know, but party bands going on with all this Korpiklani and all this stuff, you know, and all of a sudden people started to compare us with those bands, and that's when we started to take another direction with KAMPFAR, you know, and we can hear it with the next album from Verden, and you know, all this, we go away slowly, but it didn't happen a huge development until we did Djevelmakt. Because then it changed. I think we did something in my mind. We did something that we have never done before. We twisted everything around, and we kind of started all over and created modern black metal in the way we wanted to do. And from Djevelmakt and up till now, that has been the development that we became even more personal, you know, and kind of evolved into more dark stuff, maybe. Yeah, not so much folk stuff, and but still, it's the roots. So I mean, if you ask a fan or something, they will probably say that there's still some folk stuff in there, because maybe the difference now is like the folk stuff is inside of the music instead of just adding a folk riff and stuff, you know. It's like more like it's living on its own, and especially now, that's what we do now also, is like with the new stuff, and with the new stuff now it's even worse. I mean, our record label kind of tear their hair, you know, because we do basically everything wrong, and we know it, because like it's so easy to know how to create something that goes straight to the listener, like the same thing that we did in Fidia, song from Fidia's Manifest. With that song, we did it with a purpose. I said, okay, let's do a song that goes straight in, you know. It's like bang, and people are gonna love it, and that happened, you know, because like it's a sort of sense that you can create something like that. For us, it's a bit more easy stuff, you know? And but with the new stuff, we do basically everything wrong, you know, because we just want to express ourselves the way that we want to, and with a new album that's coming this year, we have done something completely different. I mean, all of a sudden we have songs that are 8 minutes that are not really a good thing for a record label to release on Spotify, you know.
Okay.
But for us, we don't care, because we don't.
Yes, you want to do something.
Yeah, we don't want to create hits, you know. We want to create art.
Yes, and your own music.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's difficult with the streaming music. If you want to be not famous, but if you want to sell maybe some album, it's necessary to be on and to have a timing. To quote our engineer in the studio, it's very funny, but he has a point actually. Okay. And he said, if you want to be big, you actually have to be a bit stupid, because you have to be creating music easier. You cannot go the hard way that people not relate to, but they relate to. You can see it here too. It's like all this band, you can relate to bang. You can relate to this, you know, and you can make easy hits that way, in a way, to be honest. But that's not what we want to do. I can understand. So this new album, because this was one of my questions. So it will be released before the end of this year?
It's gonna be released, it's not out yet, but it's gonna be released in November.
In November, okay.
So,
And this is a continuation of Freedom Manifest?
No, not really. It is, but not really, because with Ophelia's Manifest, it was impossible to go in that direction further, because that album is the most personal album we have ever done.
Okay.
You know? We created songs in Hemsedal, again, you know, up in the north. Me and Ole sitting there creating stuff while his father was dying, and we knew it, but we couldn't go anywhere, you know. And the only thing that we could do is like to start just create stuff, and this album is in honor, very, very honor of death and his father. And I had the worst period in my life, you know. I had 3 years of panic, anxiety, and all this stuff after I was was on the wrong track, with my life. So I mean, I had to clean up in a way, and all of that sense is in Ophidian Manifest. It's so personal that, when I did vocals on the last song on Ophidian, I actually, because Ole didn't hear it before I was done, and I told him that when you play it, you have to go somewhere because you're gonna cry. And I know it, and it did, and it's that personal, and it's just impossible for us to go in that direction. So with the new album, it's something completely. It's like something new. It's from the gut, and we're rising again.
Okay.
So that's the whole essence, that we are rising from the ashes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with this new album, this is a new direction yet, or just a continuity?
Not really a new direction. It's a continuity, but still, but still, it's maybe more, like I said, getting up from the gutter again, and really get the power to stand up against everything again. Being more powerful. So maybe this album is more powerful, but still very, very connected to death.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you told me before the interview you go back in France with DOLK in September.
Yeah.
Will you play maybe one song of this new album in the set list of September, or it's not?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. I think so. We also, the problem is like when you do tours, and we know it, where we have also a lot of old school fans out there complaining that we don't do a lot of this old stuff, and in a way they are right, So in a way, because it's not so much room for everything when you play 70 minutes or something, But we will try to maybe fix something better for the whole albums, and get through every part,
Okay.
Maybe more, So I mean, it's gonna be new stuff. It's gonna be old stuff. Yeah.
And when you go on stage, have you got a preparation for your head, for your body, in order to be so energetic, to be to communicate with people? How do you prepare?
Not really, not anymore. And I mean, in the early days, I did a lot of this. I had to do this, I had to do that. Now it's not like that anymore. Now it's more like I feel like it should be natural, and for me it's very natural, and I don't think too much before I enter the stage. When I enter the stage, I'm in the room with everyone, and then we just follow the flow, sort of, and that's the good thing about it. It's like you can do, especially I love club gigs, and we can do club gigs in Italy where there can be a completely different vibe than it was, for instance, in Vienna, because like it's different kind of crowds, and it's different kind of clubs, and it's different kind of festivals. So we try to just feel the vibe, and follow.
I know you have a day job because you don't eat with KAMPFAR. How do you manage to have your day job life and your artist life?
Yeah. It's very easy actually, because before the pandemic, we actually had this huge discussion in the band to where to go, because we had this discussion because I was quitting my old job, starting a new one, So we were thinking about maybe just go with KAMPFAR for 2 years, and do KAMPFAR, because we could have done that, no problem. It's not about the offers. It's more about the time we have, to be honest. And I have a family. The drummer has a family. He's getting twins now. So I mean, the bass player got a family. The only one that don't have kids is the guitar player. So we decided that no, we don't want to do it. We want to keep our lives simple, and we keep KAMPFAR as a positive outsource, you know.
Yeah.
But the good, the different stuff, the different thing is like we have all very good jobs. So when I got this new job, also I put all the cards on the table. So that means that I can go for 10 weeks or 12 weeks a year if I want to. Still have a job. You know?
So this is a good compromise.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question, DOLK. What is your playlist at this moment? What kind of music and what kind of band do you listen to?
Yeah, that's really funny because a lot of people ask me about that. But to be honest with you, I don't listen too much on music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you say. Okay.
And I used to it, and I'm not simply not follow anymore. And I have, with the pandemic now, a lot of people asking, how was that? All of a sudden we couldn't play live for 2 years. I had the best time. I had a great time, and all of a sudden I had time to relax, time to go to the mountains, stay there for weeks, because I have a cabin there.
Okay.
That's where we create stuff, just go there and create stuff, living there without all this fuss going on, taking 2 weeks off the work, 3 weeks or staying there. I had the best time, and in that period I don't listen to music.
Okay.
Because I listen to the place. Yeah.
You could be free.
Exactly.
To compose.
Yeah. So I'm really lousy when it comes to music, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. Because maybe it's a curse, but maybe it is a curse, sort of, to be a musician, creating stuff, because that's more or less what my head does all the time.
Okay.
Create stuff for KAMPFAR, and create stuff that never come to life, but something comes to life, and my head are more spinning around that than listening to music all the time. So but if I listen to music, I'm kind of this old boring guy that's listened to stuff that I used to do back in the 90s, like Merciful Fate, and dancing and all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, DOLK.
Thank you.
Have a nice summer with
Same to you.
through festival. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.